Hello, my squishies. Oh, people are chatting already. Oh, this is. Oh, I'm going to have to read your comments before I before I carry on. Oh, excellent. Hello, Katie. You're joining us and actually doing it live. Excellent. Perfect. Excellent. Oh, as normal, my starts are chaotic. Welcome. I'll be I'll be with you guys in just a second, giving everybody time to log in as well. Hello, Morgan. Hello, Rona. We have everybody in. What is Rona saying? Oh, yes. Oh, this is so exciting. New year. Oh, you should actually see my hand. New year and new felt along. Can you believe has it been almost 2 years now I've been doing this? Every Friday, we don't talk about how this is Saturday. I will tell you the story of that later. Every Friday with you guys. It's amazing. Okay, right. While we're letting the last few people dribble in, I'm going to do my usual beginner's introduction and then we'll get felting. So I do these live and then they stay off afterwards. So it's always fun to, you can see below, hopefully below, there'll be the live comments. So you can see who I'm actually talking to, so you can see them after the time. How I read them, I'm not just talking to myself, although sometimes I am. Most of the time I am. But if you haven't felt it before, welcome. In your pack, you should have your felting mat. This is what we felt onto. It protects your surfaces, makes felting easier, and it's just all around. Oh my god, my brain is gone already. It's the best thing to felt onto. You'll also have your needles. So these are your needles. Let's see if I can focus. They are very sharp and stabby. Please do not stab yourself. If you do stab yourself, just don't stab yourself. But these needles do sometimes break. Oh, I'm completely out of shot. There we go. These needles sometimes break. If they do break, make sure you find all of the broken bits and dispose of them safely. Now, you can use them just straight like this. I am further away today, I think, than normal. You can use them just like this. Or, in the kit, I've given you a handy-dandy needle holder. So the way this works is, I get into focus. There we go. You pull out the plug there. You'll see there's a wee groove just along the side there. You pop your needle in the groove with the hook over the thinner end. Then you pop that thin end back into your needle holder. So I'll do that one more time. You've got a little peg in the end. So you grab that peg out, pop the needle in the groove with the hook over the thin end, and then pop it back in. And while I remember, because after the fact, this is up on YouTube, you can pause me, you can rewind me, you can fast forward, you can do all that jazz. And if in the case of my parents, you can mute me. Love you, mum and dad. So feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward, do all that jazz. You don't have to listen to my ramblings. Okay, so, oh, also, can somebody, just checking, you guys can actually hear me. Somebody say something. Right, well, but I'll carry on, assuming you can hear me. So also in your kit, you've got this. This is it's pre-felt. So it's wool that's been lightly felted, but not like properly felted together. It's really good for felting on. Ah, excellent, you can hear me. Thank you. I'm not just talking literally to myself in a room. Oh, and we've got some new people joining today. I completely forgot. Hello, all the new people. This is very exciting. Welcome. I am nonsense. I am so sorry. Right, no. Back to topic. So this pre-felt is what we're going to felt onto. I've drawn out a design we're doing today to make it nice and easy for you. After you've done this one and you've used this pre-felt, you can actually felt on a lot of different materials. You don't have to buy the specific pre-felt. So you can felt onto felt. Some people like felting onto cotton or hessian. As long as your needle can go through it and the wool sticks through it, generally you can felt onto it. So I used to, when I had a large supply of accidentally felted jumpers, I would chop them up into squares and felt on top of them. Perfect. Okay, we've done that. Then, last but definitely not least, we have the colours that we're going to use. Oh, this is very dark. So this stuff here is called tops or roving. I'll interchangeably call it those two. There is technical differences, but for our purposes, it's tops or roving. So this has come off the sheep. It's mostly, in fact, in this kit, it's all Shetland wool. It's come off the sheep. It's been washed, dyed, and brushed, and that's it. So the way we work with this is if you gently tug on one end, you'll see it just comes out like that. So you don't need any pressure to pull it out. That is the length of the fibre or the wool that was on the sheep. So you can imagine that hanging off the sheep. So that's one length. So you can see if I do that, staying together. So when you're working with this, if you have your hands too close together, I'm doing this with a very wrong colour. There we go. If you have your hands close together, you're pulling on either end of the same hair and it's not going to come apart. What you want to do is have your hands nice and far apart and then pull gently and it'll just ease out. And if there's any twist in it, again, it's not going to come apart because twist is what makes yarn or gives it the strength. So if it's twisted, you can't pull it out. So make sure it's not twisted. You have your hands nice and far apart and you can just gently pull out little bits. And there is a running, I don't know if it's a joke, it's not funny, but there's a running theme in needle felting that I do. Less is more, so we're going to use so little, and I don't have enough words to say little, so I apologise in advance for just repeating little, small, wee, but like such small amounts like this will make such a big difference. Okay, have I forgotten anything else from my introduction? Probably. Oh, you can get needle holders that hold multiple ones. So you can have them that hold 1, 6, 12, that kind of thing to make felting a little bit easier. But I always cheat and I will interchange between wisps. Oh, that is brilliant. Yes. Can I steal that from now on, please? So I interchange between 1, 2, 3-ish. Depending on if I'm doing a little detailed bit or just felting all over. Okay. Oh, also, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that jazz. Come on for 2023. I now have to think of 12 more designs for this year. Any help would be very much appreciated. But today, and if you don't want to see the final result, close your eyes now, we are going to do, are you ready for it? Sky blue. So this is the dowel. The dowel will come into it. I have the dowel, don't worry. Well remembered, Rona, thank you. Please tell me you got a dowel. There wasn't any lying on the table after I'd packed all the things this time, so fingers crossed everybody got dowels. Sometimes, as I like to say, my brain tries to escape out my ears and just goes for a wander. And I don't know where it goes or what it does, but yeah, I apologise in advance. Anyway, so today we're doing sky blue. So this is one of my favourite views and one of my favourite places to be because every time I drive up to Skye now, I'm going up to Skye to see friends or to have some fun. So that A is, I'm looking forward to fun, but B, sort of drive over sort of just before Balmacara, just around that area, going on to Skye. And you just come over round the corner over the hill and you get this vista with the Coolin, so that's Ben the Callic in the background, Kylakin over there and Kyle there. And it's normally at night because I tend to drive up at night with this little sparkly bits everywhere. Now, in theory, there is actually a bridge across there because you can access Skye with a bridge, but you don't have to put your bridge in if you don't want to. I didn't put mine in because I'm imagining this is before the bridge and there's a wee ferry that tootles across. So this is what we're going to do today. There we go. Right, so let's get felting. Yes, makes a break for freedom. Every day, in fact. I'm amazed I've made it this far. Okay, so I like to generally start at the back and work forward. And we're going to layer up these nice colours of blues. So let's get started. I'm going to shift my chair so that I can do this easier. Because again, I have put this so far back, I'm going to be leaning over it quite a lot. But I'm not going to change it now because that'll just make everybody seasick. So I'm going to grab the darkest blue, layer a little bit. So that's about half a finger's width up there at the top. Ooh, yes, another good point is, especially at this beginning stage, you'll be surprised how little actual felting I do. So I like to lay stuff out and change stuff about because it gives me time to sort of, there's words, I know there's words coming, but I can't remember what they are just now, to play about with layouts. And if I don't like anything, I can change it. And even once you've felted a little bit, there is still, especially at the beginning, you can pull it up and move it and relay it in different places. So I'm just working my way. There's four different blues. I can count today. 4 different blues, and I'm working my way down them. And I'm making sure, you can see here I've overlapped that top blue with little wisps. Thank you. So we've got navy blue. We've got this, it's called midnight, but it's not very midnight. And we've got, so you can see it just pops. Does that help? If you line them up, you'll see there's a gradient. So we've got the darkest, second darkest, second lightest and lightest. Oh, words are good today. Also, I'm checking. Mum and Dad haven't commented yet. Are they listening or have they forgotten I'm doing this because of yesterday's debacle? Oh, I will tell you all about it in a minute. Because we are a day late doing the live of this. And I was so lonely last night. I was most upset. and now, oh my god, the story is amazing. For this last layer of the lightest blue, I am actually going to take it up and over the outline of the mountain. Just ever so slightly. I'm going to aim not to have it wiggling too much, but I want to leave the outline of the mountain there. Now don't worry if this isn't perfect, because we're going to go over it a few times, because again, with needle felting and this kind of fibre work, the more layers, the more intricacy, the better it will look. So as you can tell, I'm working quite fast, just laying down layers. We're not worrying about getting it perfect just now. And there'll be gaps, like there's gaps, that's fine. And we're going to work over different bits. Do not panic. Oh, Mum and Dad haven't commented. I think they've forgotten. Oh, we can say what we like this week. They're not listening. I don't have to be sensible. I'm never sensible anyway. There we go. So I'm enjoying this lovely fade. I'm quite happy with that. Looking good. And then I'm actually going to I'm going to defy what I said before, and I'm going to work up from the bottom. Because I want to get, I like this gradient that I'm working on. So the very bottom again, we're going to do the darkest of the blue. I am going to pull that, no, I'm not going to pull that round yet into the island. I'm going to do the islands again because these bits are sort of closest, in inverted commas, at the end. I'm taking it from darkest to lighter, and now here we want the rows to be a little bit shorter, and I want more of this. Let's get these blues in order. If we call it 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 we want the most of for this water. So I'm just going to lay that, avoiding that island in the middle. So that island is an awesome wee island. It's got a little, I can't remember the name of it. It's got a little house on it that has a museum now for, and I'm going to say the wrong name, Gavin Maxwell, the guy that wrote the Otters books. He lived round this side back in the day. But I think he retired onto that island. The Ring of Bright Water books. So again, I'm still only on blue number 3. I'll use the last blue for the highlights on top at the end. Oh! Rona even reminded me about dowel, and I completely forgot in my excitement to start. Okay, I'm going to felt this a little bit down, and then I'm going to put the dowel on. So the dowel is, especially because this is going to be my shop one, so it's going to hang up in the shop, so I have to put the dowel on today. So you don't have to use the dowel. It's in there if you want to. Lots of people like to put them in picture frames or just have them loose, but the dowel is a really handy way to display it. So let's get the dowel on. Thank you, Katie. So with the dowel, see, where would I be without you guys? Talking to myself in a room. I'm doing it all wrong. So with the dowel, I'm going to place the dowel at the top. I'm going to take this darkest blue and lay it under the bottom there. Doop, doop, doop. And this is a learning thing. I can show you that you can take it off and move stuff about without any detriments to your design. There we go. Then I'm going to pull up just a little bit of this first level of blue because I only lightly felted it in. And because I've got that layered there, I'm going to pop that there and then just cover it over. And you can do this in theory at the end, but it's a lot easier doing this now. There we go. So I've just gently felted that in just now. I'm going to pop that back over along and then work on that a bit more. So at the end, once we've finished this design, I want you to make sure that this bit up here is really well felted and to regularly check that it's all pulling through on the back. There we go. Right, let's get back in frame. Oh, my little Totoro is coming into frame. Where is his face? There we go. He's on the end of one of my pens in my pen pot up there. Right, get out of frame, Totoro. You're not supposed to be in. Unless, is my camera moving? I think it might be. It's drunk. There we go. If I suddenly start getting closer and closer, somebody shout me. When I start trying to needle felt the camera. Okay, so we're back to, I definitely am lower. I think it's sinking. But hopefully you can see everything. There we go. Thank you very much, Katie and Rona. It takes 2 people to remind me sometimes. Right, where am I going now? What am I doing? What day is this? Let's pop in the islands. Get them in, and then that's most of it blocked in super fast, and it will be time to get on with the details. Oh, and now I can tell you the excitement of my internet. So I got into the shop yesterday. Yesterday was second day after coming back from my amazing holiday. So I'm using the darkest blue here. Amazing holiday in my new flat, relaxing and doing nothing. Spectacular. And the internet would not, like, loading my emails yesterday. It was incredibly frustrating. It was like a snail. So I phone up my internet provider and go, help! I've got a live stream tonight and I don't have any internet. What do I do? And the fastest they could get an engineer out was this morning at 8 o'clock. And I told them, it is the darkest blue in the islands, yes. I told them that I would not be awake at 8 o'clock. Can we do it a little bit later? And so they said 1 o'clock. I'm like, perfect, excellent. Get it fixed at 1 o'clock. And I'll have plenty of time for felting tonight. So I'll schedule tonight. There we go. So we've got the darkest blue. My camera is definitely moving. Okay, give me 1 second. Look away if you don't want sugary cameras. There we go. Okay, we're back to where we are. If it moves again, shout me. And we're going to do the darkest blue again for these 3 islands there. So I'm just, like, for this island, because it's a little bit pointy, I'm taking my little bit, my wisp, pointing the end and just letting it hang off. And there is a few options for us on what you want to do at the side here, and I'll cover them in a minute. And this island goes right the way up because it does go all the way around. This is Kylakin, then you drive round to Broadford and Harpool and all those places. Breckish. There we go. And again, I'm going to do a tiny island here. I'm going to have one end, kind of twist it to make a nice end. And if you get these placements wrong, remember you can just pull them up like we did up the top there. Thank you. And move it about. That's no problem at all. There we go, that's island 2, and then we'll get Kyle on the mainland there. Oh yeah, so I was continuing my internet story, which is not interesting unless you're me. And so I booked it for 1 o'clock tomorrow, which is now today. Perfect, right as rain. Oh, that needs to go round and out a little bit. I am actually going to move this island just a little. I think I went off island there. Island there, and you're round and out a bit. Because that jump from there to there is only a tiny jump. Because the bridge is actually in 2 sections. The Skye Bridge. Hello! So the Skye Bridge is in 2 sections. There's a sort of flatter section from Kyle on the mainland to the island. Can't remember its name. And then there's a big lumpy bridge that goes across onto Skye itself. Okay, so we've got everything blocked in. I'm going to do a little bit of felting all over, and then we're going to come back in with details. So I'm happy with the placement pretty much of everything. If you're not happy, have a shuggle around just now, move it about. But I'm fairly happy. So I'm going to do a good all over felt for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get on the details. So if yours looks messy just now, it will. That's, my chair is squeaky today as well. That's totally fine, perfectly normal. It will magically come together, trust me. At the moment, mine looks like a 5-year-old has scrawled on it with crayons. But do not worry. This is all part of the process. So, yes. So while I'm doing this, so I booked it for, I'm going to get to the end of this story. I booked it for 1 o'clock. And as I am not a morning person, I rock up to the shop at 11 on the dot. Definitely wasn't a couple of minutes late. because I'd gone to pick up, well, I was a couple minutes late, because I'd gone to pick up a parcel at the post office. And it turned out to be a massive parcel that I could barely, this is me holding my hands really far apart, barely stotter along the street carrying it. But this morning, I'd made myself a coffee at home and was holding that said coffee when I picked up my parcel at the post office and didn't know what to do with my coffee cup. And I was like, right, I'll just chuck it in my bag because it's one of these reasonably sealed ones. And I left the handle over the edge of my bag so it wouldn't fall over. Totally fine, she thinks. Halfway down the street, I need to shift my arm. So I put my bag down with the coffee in it, shift the parcel in my arms, carry on walking. And then I feel this warm sensation on my belly. I'm like, have I put a hot water bottle in my... No, that's my coffee. That's my coffee spilling into my bag and dripping out the bottom of it. So I'm walking along the street. There's nothing I can do. It's fine. There's coffee dribbling, dripping out my handbag, and my lovely, lovely lady at the bookshop comes out with another parcel for me. So I tell her the story of how I'm dripping, and she helps me carry the other parcel that they received for me up to the shop. And then when I get to the shop, one of my good customers and friends is here as well. So she also gets the story of how it was a whole thing. So my bag was basically a loch filled with coffee this morning. And then this person in high vis pops their head round the door and looks very confused at me. And I figure, it's my BT engineer who's very early, so I haven't had the chance to move everything away from where the internet box is. So turns out she's actually a friend, and so it's fine. So we're laughing as I'm trying to get everything out so that she can assess the damage. My end's fine, but I have zero internet, and she's like, yeah, your speed is basically nothing. I should probably tell you something about this picture while I'm rambling about my internet story, which is not interesting to anybody. But we're just felting just now. We're not actually putting anything in. It's fine. So off she pops and goes to the section of the internet out in the street and comes back about half an hour later. And my internet had actually, the wires had been cut. It was amazing. She was in stunned disbelief. She doesn't know how it happened. But yeah, I literally had no internet because they'd cut my wires. It wasn't the storm after all. So she's replaced all the wires and it's all fixed. And I have internet again. Okay, right, that's the end of that story. I'm sure you've muted me at this point. So if you have muted me, come back now. Let's put some detail in. So around the waterline, we're going to have some shadows and some reflections, and up there as well. So I'm going to grab some of the white, and we're going to just, I'm loving this word already, wisps, thank you so much, tiny wisps, just following the contours of the hill. Now it doesn't have to follow it perfectly. And it doesn't have to fully cover that. You can see I've still got gaps here. That's totally fine. Just make sure it goes over the edge. So I'm going to follow that white around the edge of the hill. I'm going to put a bit more blue here because I have got some gaps. Now I've told the internet story, I can get down to actual business. I had to get it off my chest. It was hilarious. But she was there, bless her, for a good wee while before she managed to fix it. There we go. I'm just blending, I guess. Blending that up there. There we go. Oh, Rona, you have a puppy! Oh my god, send photos. I demand photos of the puppy. Can you not get the puppy to felt? Is that not a thing? So again, I'm taking the white again and I'm going to do a slightly No, it's still quite a thin wispy line, just where the island hits the water. We're going to start working on the reflections. Don't worry if it looks too bold just now. It will look bold, but we're going to calm it down by going over it with other colours or with different blues, if that makes sense. So I've just gone partially round the corner. I haven't covered up here. So this little bit from there to there, I've left without the white line because that's an edge. That's like a hill edge. So you wouldn't necessarily see the white reflection there. But I'm going to do the bottom of this. Bottom there. And again, bottom of the... I'm going to call it Maxwell Island. I don't know what it's actually called. Bottom of that island there. And round here as well. We're going to pop. So a little white coming from there. And curving it round there. Now don't worry about if there's black over it and things like that, because we're going to fix that with more there. Now I'm going to take... Yes, Sheila, painting is... Yeah, this is painting. I love it so much. It's so fun. You've got... It's like acrylics but easier, because you've just got this freedom if you don't like it. Like if I didn't like this island there, at this stage, I can entirely take it up, put it somewhere else, put it up there. Oh, that looks... Nope, don't do it. Looks quite good. And then still even and pop it wherever I want. There we go. Right, so I'm going to take the lightest of the blues now, and we're going to start fading this white line that we've done. So you can go over the white line, and it's maybe like a centimetre of wispy blue. There's my wispy blue. Just following wherever we put that white line, putting this blue and letting it come down into the water. So we're getting little like ripples of waves, if that makes sense. Now I actually need you guys' help. Oh, there's a comment, a long comment. Give me 1 second, but I do need you guys' help just before I read this comment. So far this is called Sky Blue. Is that a good name for it? Do I need a different name for this? Help. Oh, what's this long comment? Yay, the dowel. I love the dowel, this dowel effect, because you can, if you don't have a dowel, you can use yeah, I think Sky Blues is the answer, but any other names are appreciated. You can go out and find a twig, do anything to hang it like this, and all you need to hang it on the wall is either 2 nails, 1 on each side, or if you put a bit of string or yarn there, just 1 nail at the top. Right, I'm getting... And it just fixes itself, and it brings the picture up a little bit. So I'm just going to rave about the dowel for a second. I'm taking this light blue around the bay there as well. I'm actually going to pop in a little bit of the blue number 2, not the darkest, second darkest. I'm going to pop some of that into where, okay, imagine in your head where the deepest bits of so these are the Kyle Straits, where the deepest bit, and oh my god, the tides you get here are not the tides. Yeah, the tides are amazing to watch, but it's really deep there. So all the deep bits, just put a little, really wispy. See, I'm using that word. Bit of the second darkest blue. Oh, thank you. Excellent. Keep up the felting. It is, I love it so much. That's a little bit too much of a contrast, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the middly blue again and pop it over, and then you get these lovely, see, this is what the joys of felting. Because I'm layering up the colours, especially in the water, you're getting this lovely ripple effect, which is what I'm really looking for. I love this watery ripple. We are going to spend a lot more time down at we're going to spend a lot more time in the sea than we are in the Skye, because the Skye is quite smooth compared to like the movement that you're going to get in the water, because even on a really calm day, these straits have got a bit of movement in them. Okay, so I'm gonna do another. Mine is still also, the Skye is definitely at the scribbly crayon stage. And, oh, I haven't said this yet. So tonight we're going to get it all blocked out. We're going to get the details in. We're going to have it all there. But I'm not going to call it finished. So with these, I really like leaving them, going away and coming back in a day or two with fresh eyes. Because this is something you don't like about it at this stage. You might not be able to see it now because you've been staring at it so intently. But come back in a day or two and everything will sort of resolve. You'll see what you might be missing, what you might want to put in, or you'll see it's actually amazing. What I like to do as well is take a photo and message it to somebody. So I message my parents normally, but by the time I've messaged it, because of that photo and having a look, 1 second, because of that photo and having a look at it through the camera, you'll see there's things you might want to change and different stuff that you want to change. Now I've pulled this off of the mat because it's good to do that every so often, because as you can see it kind of sticks to the mat, but it's distorted and that's perfectly fine and normal. Don't worry, especially at this loose fluffy stage. You can just wiggle it and put it back into shape. Once you've given it a good felting over, so this is in a day or two, you've come back, you give it a good felting all over for sort of 10-15 minutes, and you'll see it starts to stiffen up. So the big difference between this fluffy thing here and this well felted picture here, this is what makes a lot of the difference, is just getting it all felted in. So don't be disheartened tonight if it doesn't look like this. That's because you haven't done 10-20 minutes of solid felting all over it. Mine is deliciously fluffy just now, and don't worry if like your island starts to go, well, that's not a straight water line, so mwahaha. Yeah, I've never pressed. I have steamed finished paintings, finished feltings, but I've never pressed them. What I really want to do, but haven't been brave enough yet, is to actually chuck one in the washing machine and have a go. And like see how the washing machine felts it. But no, I prefer to just stab. And I don't, especially when I've put the dowel in. I'm not gonna. I can see myself setting fire to the dowel by accident. Please don't set fire to the dowel by accident. But yeah, you can even. Oh, you can wet felt these as well after, so you can stab it in like this and then do wet felting. I'm not a wet felter because as some of you might remember the day that I came to the Friday where I had just plasters all over my hands. I've got contact dermatitis, and certain soaps and getting my hands wet a lot, I just break out in cuts and eczema and things. So I try and avoid doing lots with water if I can, which is why I love dry felting. And for those of you out there, it's a great excuse not to do the dishes when you go home if they haven't got rubber gloves. I've now invested in a pair of rubber gloves, so I have to do my own dishes. But I can tell Mum and Dad aren't listening because they haven't commented tonight. So I can give away my secret. Okay, what's the time? Oh, we've got plenty of time. Right, let's start putting in some shape. I'm still, the camera's not falling down. Let's put, now I will get to the end of a sentence. At the moment, the hills, or the ground, is all one dark colour. But we want to put little, because there's going to be light hitting it, there's going to be lights on it, we want to put some little variations in that just differentiate little bits and make it pop. So we're going to take, I need to keep these in order so I can remember 1, 2 and 3, don't I? Let's do that. Yeah, the last flat I lived in, we had a dishwasher and it was amazing, but I do not have one here. I want a dishwasher. Oh, they are. Oh no, they are listening. Oops. Hi, Mum. Or is that Dad talking to Mum's account? I do my dishes every night now. I'm a good girl. Okay, let's distract ourselves and put some colours. I'm going to take blue number 2, the second darkest, and we're going to start doing some sort of almost outlines. Yeah, you are late. Like a day and 40 minutes. Oh, was it me that's a day late? It was me that's a day late. You didn't hear my exciting story about my very non-exciting story about my internet dilemmas. So I'm going to take half a wisp and on the right hand side mountain, have that just coming down from the top and fading in front of this one. So if you imagine this is Ben Nicallich, I think actually grammatically that yeah, it's right, it's fine. I'm trying to remember which mountain's in front of which. In fact, which Ben, because there's 2 Ben Nicallichs on Skye. No what? You can't just, no, I know no is a complete sentence. But no what? There's 2, yeah, so there's 2 Ben Nicallichs on Skye, and they're actually remarkably close to each other. So this is a Ben Nicallich. I haven't decided which Ben Nicallich is. Again, I'm going to take a little bit of the lighter blue and starting there, pop that. Now you can see it's just the tiniest bit, and it will look a bit funny just now until we've properly felted it in. And then again, for this little outcropping that is Kylakin, I'm going to leave that going up. It's going there and up. But you do want to make sure you don't really want to go right to the end. That's fine. I might take that lighter blue down there just to differentiate that edge a wee bit. And then again here, I'm going to pop some highlights. Oh, excellent. She didn't hear the dishwasher story. Nobody tell her. I don't think they listened back to this. I'm so glad. Thank you, Sheila. I'm so glad you're learning through all my nonsense. I tell people when they buy the kits in the shop how much nonsense I talk, and I don't think they believe me. And then if they come back after they've done one, they're like, yeah, you talk a lot. I'm like, I told you. I never claimed to be professional. Or I define what professional is myself, and this is professional. Right, no, concentrating. There we go. So we've got nice little highlights there. That's kind of a foresty area, which is really fun. You're getting local information about this as well. A forestry area there. And now we're going to put the last little bit of detail before we're going to do a good all over felting. There, I'm blushing, you just can't see. If you want to leave this all blue, you can, and have it as a study in blue. Lots of artists do that, where they're just doing an entire painting in one colour as a sort of an exercise to see about lights and shadows, and that's really fun. So you can just leave this as a study in blue just now. Visit Skye, it's amazing. Oh my god, there's so much. I lived up there for a few years, and I get back up there any excuse I can. It is amazing. Right, nope, back to topic, we can do this. So you could leave this as a study in blue, but I like just the tiniest pop of colours, which in your brain switches it from a study in blue to it's actually the the landscape is actually this colour, because it does. Sky, like late at night, especially in the summer, because it never properly gets dark. In the height of summer, you can go for a walk at like 3 in the morning and you can just about see. It's amazing. And it does go this colour. So I'm going to add in some little twinkly lights. So we're going to, again, I've talked about layering before, so we're layering up the colours to make the lights. So we're going to start with a layer of yellow. So I've put my lights where they actually are ish. So I've got Broadford here. No, I think that's sort of the Lewib area coming up there. Broadford just around this basin here. We're taking just little wisps. I'm just letting it actually go pretty much the length of the fibre. And now it's going to look quite harsh and panicky at the start. Don't worry, there's method in my madness. We're going to get Kylakin down here. Little Maxwell House. Pretty sure that's a coffee. Maxwell's house there. And Kyle. Oh, that's too much. Just coming round. So Kyle kind of goes to there and kind of sprawls out there. So we are like looking down a little bit high. And then, so we've done this first, crazy layer. We're going to cover that in orange. So we don't want to completely cover it, but wherever you've done the yellow, just pop the orange on top. And again there. So we've now got little fun go faster stripes. Maybe. And then last but not least, oh no, Maxwell and Kylakin. Maxwell's house, oh dear. Oh, Mum's in the chat. Mum, research assistant. I need you. You weren't here earlier when I needed your researching. What's that little island on the middle where Gavin Maxwell's museum, not where he lived, because he lived around the corner, but where his museum is? It's in the middle of the Skye Bridge. Can you please Google that for me? Thank you very much. And is it Gavin Maxwell, or am I doing it again where I've saying the wrong person's name? What was the one I said before? Christopher Columbus or something? Oh dear. Okay, so these still look quite harsh. You can't, so imagine you know those long exposure photographs that you see. That would be like a long exposure one where all the lights turn into that solid line. That would be awesome. So you can leave it like that, just if you like. But I'm actually going to add another layer. I know this sounds silly. Elan Ban. Does that not just mean, what is that? What's the English translation of that? Is that just ban is brown? No, I'm making things up. Somebody will. I'll ask Ailey, my Gaelic speaking friend, when I pop past her. So I'm adding the darkest blue on top again of all the lights, but the tiniest wisp, and I'm not letting it go straight. I'm trying to wiggle it a little bit because that breaks up the solid blocks of colour. Yes. It's called, is it Under the Bridge? Is that the translation? See, you learn, I learn something new every day. And you can see that's taken that solid line, and because we've put the dark blues on top of it, it's just broken it up in random places, and it's just magical. Who knew just putting a tiny oh no, am I going too fast? That's okay. It just means you get more time to, oh god, you have to listen to me rambling again tomorrow. I am so sorry. You can mute me tomorrow. I think I forget speed. Is there like a speed felting competition? Well, I put too much on there, so I'm going to take a little bit of that back. Oh, ban means, I knew it was a colour. White. Because at one point I knew my colours in Gaelic, but they have all fallen out of my brain. They've made a break for freedom. There we go. Okay, yes. I get fussy afterwards. I like to get it all down first and then fuss. So what you guys don't see is I'll finish this tonight. We'll get it all blocked in, and it's the 20 minutes, half an hour in a couple of days where I'm just fussing with little bits and things and trying to make it and sort of finish it off. And I mean, my fussing, I'm talking about just putting, again, tiny wisps, this is my favourite word now, wisps on little places, and it just makes all the difference. I'm going to remember every so often to pull this off. Oh, and while I'm doing that, because we're almost at the hour, let's talk about edging. It is Under the Bridge. I did, oh, and we're very squinty. I was talking about that earlier, because if you want to do a bridge, you can put a bridge in. I tried and it looked a bit silly, so I took it out, and that was my story. Right, so let's talk about edging. There's a few options for edging. You can leave it like this, so you can leave it all nice and fluffy, especially if you're putting it in a frame. I love seeing these edgy fluff bits. They make me really happy, but you don't have to. The other two main options are, once it's all finished, felted, and you're happy with it, you can literally just chop the edge. Easy. But what I like to do is to make my edge nice and neat, I fold the fluffy bits under like this. I wouldn't do it now because I'm not actually finished, but I just want to show you. Fold the fluffy bits under and give them a wee felting down. And then, oh, hiccups. Oh, I need my dinner. And then they still look natural, they don't look chopped, but they're folded in nicely. I mean, you could do it now actually, there's nothing to stop you doing it now. There we go. So I've got everything blocked in. I'm really happy with how it's looking just now. I definitely know it needs fussing. I'm just stealing all your words tonight, basically. It needs like a good, oh, look at it. It needs a good felting all over, a few little bits and bobs. Like I'm gonna put, in fact, let's do it now. I want to put a few more wispy whites just in the C, make it a bit more, a little bit more movement there. But again, we're going to layer, so I'll put the white down where I'm going for the movement, and I'm going to layer on top of it. It's like I was saying before, that words, that effect of the twinkly effect. I'm going to call it, I'm going with the twinkly effect of layering up. Maybe it's just because I'm feeling wintry and everything twinkles in winter. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for the next half an hour, 45 minutes. Not tonight, but in a couple of days. It's just play about, pop stuff down, but I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes here live, rambling nonsense and giving it a really good, so I've got my 3 needles at the same time and giving it a really good felt over, making sure this top edge as well has got a good, oh, you can't even see where I'm felting, a good felt over. And any bits like this, because it'll happen when you're giving it a good felt over, you'll get little gaps. And again, I'm going to layer up the different colours to fit it in. Now I've tried to keep the sky quite smooth and let this be more rougher transition, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm putting more texture in the base than I have in the sky. But I still want it to definitely transition, so you can see the little, it's always overlapped and you get little glimpses through. Yes, so it won't be tomorrow because tomorrow is Sunday, so I will be having pancakes and doing nothing. It's going to be wonderful. That's my Sunday routine now. So it'll be probably the middle to end of next week. I will pop it in, oh, thank you very much for reminding me. I will pop it in the Facebook group. So if you guys haven't joined the Facebook group, we have a Facebook group where everyone posts their finished pictures and we chat about them. It's all linked in the description below. Please do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, comment. Even after the fact, please feel free to leave a comment. And oh, and please read the live chat soon. I'm not just randomly ahhing to people to things that you don't know what I'm talking about. Also, my nonsense companion has not been here tonight. I was about to say being more sensible tonight, but I'm not being sensible tonight. Where are you, Robin? Hello, leave a comment afterwards. I suppose Katie, I mean, you're all my nonsense companions. So you can, oh yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more dark just in that faraway mountain there. Just to give it, oh thank you. To give it a bit of depth, because the further away something is in this kind of light, it kind of goes a bit lighter. If that makes any sense. Who knows? One day I might make sense. I'll shock you all. Oh, also, I have no idea what I'm doing next month. Any suggestions? Well, who am I kidding? I've got no idea what I'm doing for the rest of the year. Any suggestions? Or anything you specifically want, oh, I'm going squinty again, you want me to do? So the more I'm felting this, the more I'm seeing little gaps appearing, which is hello, Jarvis! Jarvis the younger. You've made a live. You've missed all of my nonsense. I'm so sorry. It's been very nonsenseful tonight. One day I should do like a D&D character. Yes, that's an idea. It has to be a Scottish themed D&D character, but yes. Oh, brilliant! Oh! The comments are going too fast. Oh, and well, I can't copy an artist because that would definitely be copyright infringement. But I can be inspired. Quick, write it down somewhere. I can't. I'm felting. I will. Mum, secretary, love you. Can you remind me when I finish this that I have to look up an artist? Ooh. Give me a chance to have a look at them and see if it is something that I can do, because not everything can translate into felting. Sheila, when you say felting your cat, I just want to double check felting with your cat's fur, which is possible. There's some amazing things out there felted in cat fur, or felting pictures of your cats. Ooh, cherry blossoms would be nice. Oh, Sheila, I want to see them. Pop them in the Facebook group link below. Pictures of your cat. Okay, so I occasionally fall into I'm running late tonight. It's fine. I occasionally fall into very random, I don't know, Pinterest, Google image search holes where you're like, how did I end up here? But there is one amazing artist, I can't remember where she's based, but she takes, when she's brushing her cat, she collects the fur and then she felts it into tiny hats for the cats, and oh, they're so cute. Just these pictures of these cats in hats felted from their own fur. It's just the cutest. Weird, but so cute. Now all this stabbing that I'm doing just now is just starting to come together and lock it all in, and makes such a difference. Yeah, look at felted cat hats or some kind of set. Don't ask how I got into that hole. Oh yeah, and I'm just rambling and repeating myself now. It's fine. But this lovely bit we've done up here, where we've looped the fibre over, I like to go over it again and make sure it's really well felted. And I'll bring, when you felt it, you'll feel it starting to lock in. Be really careful not to stab the wood, because that is how you break needles. Ask me how I know that. Yeah, start collecting. But you might need to, I don't know how you would wash it. Maybe use just wet felting? How did we get into this? How do I know? I wonder how much human hair I've accidentally felted into here. There we go. Oh my, there we go. Right, let's pull it off one last time. See how wonky it's gone. Yes, look at it. Look at the wonk. It definitely needs a good bit more felting. So like I said, another half hour or so. It's so easily done. The plug to Japanese path I can see really easy. Yeah, so another good half hour of just what I've been doing just then and stabbing all over, and you'll get something that looks more akin to this. I'll leave that up for a minute. But we're pretty much, oh, I have noticed something I'm missing. I want a little bit of light on that island. It was looking a bit dark there, and I want some light blue around the top to make it pop out a little bit more. See, it's these little fiddly bits that just, they're so fun. This is the bit I really like. It's just like, ooh, imagine in this situation if this did it. Maybe I just have a ridiculous imagination. I blame my parents. Thank you. It served me well. There we go, that's popping out a little bit more. Awesome. Have I rambled enough? Should I go home and have dinner? I think I should maybe go home and have dinner. And pancakes. No, pancakes is tomorrow. I'm not allowed pancakes tonight. Okay. I'm not leaving. You can't get rid of me. Yep. I think in order to be creative, we have to have very strange imaginations about what we can do with a wreath of flowers around our head, maybe. That's a joke only you and 2 other people are going to get. Ooh, also random note, I had a Mr. Sam in the shop the other day, and I poked him very hard about getting in touch with us. Okay, I've stopped talking. Clearly my brain has stopped working. I think you guys have done, you've kept me wonderful company tonight. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward. Yes, you do. We could do a flower. Yeah, cherry blossom. Oh, cherry blossom. Right, I'm on it. I'm really looking forward to seeing all, this is how my brain works, all of your guys' finished ones in the Facebook group. Tell me how it went. Thank you so much for tonight. Hopefully it's going to be Sky Blue now, I've decided. Sky Blue will hopefully be live online the end of next week. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm sure you've all done amazing. I look forward to seeing your finished projects and products at the same time. I'm going to go and have my dinner. Have a lovely night. Have a lovely this year. Oh, I'm hitting my light setup. I shouldn't be expressive. I should keep my hands here. Have a lovely night. Have a lovely new year. Thank you so much for all the nonsense. And I will see you, if not before, because the secret plan's in the works, I'll see you next month. Fingers crossed on the actual Friday. And as long as nobody cuts my internet again. Thank you, my squishies. Have a lovely night. Oh, there we go. End stream.